Good morning, dear students. Today we are going to study A Prayer for My Daughter, composed by William Butler Yeats. William Butler Yeats was born in Dublin, suburb on June 13, 1865. Soon after his birth, Yeats' parents moved to London, and he was so much interested in theosophy of Plato and Black. There were two women who very much affected the life of W.B. Yeats. One was Maud Gonne, she was his beloved, and second was Lady Gregory, he was his friend. In 1923, he was awarded the Nobel Prize for Literature, and on January 28, 1939, he died. He wrote many principal poetic works, and he was very notable and dominant figure of his times. Some of his writings are Crossways, The Rose, The Wind Among the Reeds, In the Seven Woods, The Green Helmet, and other poems. Responsibilities, The Wild Swans at Culloh, Michael Roberts and the Dancer, The Tower, The Winding Stair, and other poems. Words for Music, perhaps, A Full Moon in March, and at last poems. And this collection of poems was published posthumously. Now let's come to our today's topic, that is A Prayer for My Daughter. As you have got the brief introduction about W.B. Yeats, now we are moving to our prescribed poem, that is A Prayer for My Daughter, and you can see on your screen the text of this poem. The poem starts with the opening lines, that is, once more the storm is howling, and half hid under this cradle hood and coverlid, my child sleeps on. There is no obstacle but Gregory's wood and one bare hill, whereby the haystack and roof leveling wind, bred on the Atlantic, can be stayed. And for an hour I have walked and prayed because of the great gloom that is in my mind. In this poem, the poet is praying for his daughter, and we are given an image in this poem, that in the opening lines you can see there is an image of the child sleeping innocently through a howling storm. A great gloom is on Yeats' mind also. The violence of nature seems symbolic of a large violence in this poem. So, as you can see, the poet is speaking about a great storm that is howling outside, and her daughter is half hid under the cradle hood and cover lid, and the cradle is also cover lid in which her child is sleeping. Now the poet is saying that in line number 3, the poet is saying that there is no obstacle but Gregory's wood and one bare hill, whereby the haystack and roof leveling wind, bred on the Atlantic, can be stayed. The poet is saying in these three lines that a furious storm born on the Atlantic Ocean, as you can see in line number mm, in line number 6, there is there is a mention of Atlantic, that this is related to Atlantic Ocean, and the poet is saying that a furious storm born on the Atlantic Ocean is sweeping the Irish countryside. Means the storm is coming slowly toward the Irish countryside. There is hardly any obstacle in the way of the storm. Means there is no obstacle, there are rare obstacles in the way of the storm to diminish its intensity, to slow down the intensity of the storm. There are merely any obstacle, only The obstacles are only the wood around Lady Gregory's estate. As I have told you in this session, that Lady Gregory was friend of W.B. Yeats, and he is saying that only the wood around Lady Gregory's estate and one hill on which there is no growth of shrubs or trees serve as some kind of obstacle in its ways. So you can see in line number 4 that Gregory's wood, the word is written here, Gregory's wood, and the other obstacle is one bare hill. Bare hill means there are no trees and there are no shrubs on the hill. So these are the two mainly two obstacle in the speed of the storm. Otherwise there are merely any obstacles. The storm is so furious that it brings haystacks and roofs down to the ground. In line number 5 and 6, the poet is saying that whereby the haystack and roof leveling wind. Roof leveling means wind. Roof leveling wind means the storm is so high that it is bringing haystacks and roofs down to the ground. In next lines you can see, and for an hour I have walked and prayed because of the great gloom that is in my mind. The poet is speaking about his great gloom in his mind, his great thinking in his mind, and for an hour I have walked and prayed. He is saying that since 1 hour I am walking and I am praying because of the great gloom that is in my mind. The great gloom also reflects the violence of nature outside. So we can say that here the great gloom is in Yeats' mind also symbolize the larger violence of nature. So great gloom here is a symbol. Let's have a quick look on the first stanza again. Once more the storm is howling, and half hid under this cradle hood and cover lid my child sleeps on. There is no obstacle but Gregory's wood and one bare hill, whereby the haystack and roof leveling wind, bred on the Atlantic, can be stayed, and for an hour I have walked and prayed because of the great gloom that is in my mind. Now there is second stanza that start with these lines.